So I always say that to grow your business, you have to always look at the core, always look at the brand's DNA and use the brand as a management tool. And some people ask me, what do you mean using the brand as a management tool? So I decided to take a few headlines and I'll give you a few examples. First headline is from Bloomberg, talking about the fact that less and less people go to the mall and so many retailers closing their physical stores. The whole idea about online e-commerce and physical stores. So people say that physical retail is dead and online commerce killed everything. So yeah, e-commerce really killed a lot of things, but it's not about that. The idea is to adapt because change will always be here. 10 years ago, those retailers had to understand that things will change because there's always change. So they needed to sit down and think, how are we going to adapt? What are we going to do with that? How are we going to go with change? What are we going to offer when in 10 years everything will be online and people will buy online? 10 years ago, by the way, we didn't think that we will just buy like that with one finger on our mobile. We thought it will come here, but not so fast. It did. And you still use the same old methods, and then you don't understand why you need to close doors. That's why you need to close doors, because you can't adapt. Let's take Target. Amazing brand, great company. They know how to adapt. For instance, they see that online shopping is huge, Amazon is huge, so they don't say, oh, it's because of Amazon, it's because no one comes to the shop. Tons of people come to the shop at Target. Everybody buys at Target. And now they open their website to other brands as well. Brands that already have great presence and great sales in Target shops. Now you can find it online. This is how you cope. This is how you adapt. This is how you go with change. So A-List Daily did a really nice research about Gen Zs, and one of the really cool things that they found is that 41% of Gen Zs buy at a brand's physical store and only 18% buy at a brand's online shop. Why? Because the experience. A physical shop has something that an e-commerce shop cannot have. That's experience, that touch and feel. So instead of just thinking, how am I going to sell on every square feet as much as I can, think of how can I make an amazing experience, a wow. I want them to come back to the store. It's not about online commerce, it's about experience. It's not about dollars, it's about experience. Great brands don't sell. They have experiences, values. So let's talk about Victoria's Secret, for instance. Part of the brand is that perfection woman, the whole concept of what is a perfect woman, what is sexy. Things have changed, society has changed, and those concepts are irrelevant anymore. For young people now, gender, sexy, perfect, human, it's not the same. Other brands decided that they need to go with that, and they don't show any beautiful perfect models anymore just to communicate and market their bras and underwears. On the contrary, they use real regular people, okay? And that's part of their DNA. That's why they're making much more than Victoria's Secret, and Victoria's Secrets need to close doors. Another headline is from Business Insider. Today, Gap Inc. announced that it's splitting into two independent publicly traded companies, and Old Navy, that is part of the portfolio, will be totally separated. Why? Because Old Navy sells a ton and Gap, no. Gap needs to actually close physical stores. So, numbers. Old Navy sales in 2017 were $7.2 billion, while Gap's were $5.3 billion. That's huge. Now let's think about the brand DNA and the brand as management tool. Old Navy are super aligned with their promise, with their DNA. Cool, fast fashion in really good low prices. That's why they communicate. They're very focused. That's the only thing that they show, talk about, and that's their values. That's their core, the DNA. That's why they go with. So when you go into an Old Navy store, that's what you find. Because Old Navy delivers on their promise. So you're excited to go there and you find what you're looking for. Gap? What's Gap's DNA? Maybe back in the 90s it was wow, but nothing changed. They didn't change since. They're too big and too old. It's really not interesting to go into a Gap shop. I mean, what Gap stands for? High prices, denim, and I like denim and I like Gap, so it's not about that. I just think they need to facelift their brand. You need to do that. Brands are like people, and you need to change and evolve. And if you don't look at the brand's DNA, and if you lost the brand's DNA and the brand's core, it's okay. Sit down, figure it out, and then align it with a customer base that share the same values.